What's up everybody and welcome back to another gold making video. Today we're doing things a little bit differently. I'm just going to give a brief intro before we get into the heart of the video. So if you guys are familiar with my stream, what we primarily do on there is run through old content on a speed druid. Now if you're not really familiar with that term, it basically means that we are playing on level 110 characters and we are stacking speed primarily through the use of our Sentinel's Eternal Refuge, and through some enchants and plus speed gear, and I use a chest, and that's not really the important part of our video today, because as you know, we now have a release date for Shadowlands. So we want to talk about what's coming up versus what we already have. So my absolutely amazing moderator, Misdirect, has been researching his heart out on what speed druids look like in Shadowlands. Now, this is something that I obviously am very concerned about, and it's a very, very important matter to me. And he has put together an absolutely amazing guide that walks you through every single piece of armor that you want on a speed druid. So he was very, very gracious and offered to put it up on our channel. So without further ado, this is Misdirect's video, and I will link all of his stream, his YouTube down below. So thanks guys, and enjoy!
Hello everybody, this is Misdirect. We are working on a speed guide for the next expansion of Shadowlands. So what this is going to be based off of is going to be the gem that is coming with Shadowlands. It is the Straddling Jeweled Doublet. So this gem makes all gems from Shadowlands give you speed. So what we're going to be doing to get the highest amount of speed possible is we are going to be stacking the gem slot. So we have gone through and done some testing to find which items are going to be the best to get gems and has the most amount of gems that we can get on a druid. So for your speed druid, you are going to want to be level 51. If you are before the level 51, these gems only give you 4 speed per gem. Once you hit 51 and all the way up to level 60, these gems give you 12 speed per gem. Because of that, you have the diminishing returns. As you lose, you need more speed to give you the same amount of speed when you are leveling up. So a 12 speed may give you 1%. This is just random numbers. May give you 1% at level 51, but it might give you 0.5% the next level up. So what we are trying to do is we are trying to be the most efficient with the most amount of gems at level 51. So we have been doing some testing and trying to get the cheapest versions of the most effective. So I don't actually have all the items as of right now, but this guy right here, Geras, he is in Shadra. He gives you the most pieces of our gear for the cheapest amount. So some of these items can be crafted to get the same amount of cost, but some of these pieces can just be bought right from this vendor. So for our helm slot is going to be one of the pieces from that vendor. He gives you a Mask of Primal Power. He then gives you 3 sockets for this piece of gear. For our neck is going to be a crafted item. Or there is an alternative that gives you 1 more gem socket than we have here, and then I will put it on the screen in a moment, or in the video. But this item is crafted. It's a pretty cheap crafting cost as of right now, and it gives you 2 sockets. The other alternative is a archaeology neck from Legion. Though it is a weekly quest that could show up in Legion and has you go out and do a bunch of quests. The quests reset weekly, and whenever it comes up, just go do it, and you can get the neck that gives you 3 sockets. Currently, I actually have 31 sockets, and the number of sockets that we have found that is the most that you can get is 38 sockets. I have 31 at the moment. For our shoulders, what we're going to also get is the pauldrons of the Tribal Fury. They also sell from this vendor here in Shadra, and it's going to be 2 sockets. So for the cloak, it's actually, you can either go for a 1 socket cloak, which there is only a few in the game. There's some from Ruby Sanctum, but the best way if you were trying to get only a 1 socket one is just buy a BFA item or a Legion item that has rolled into an additional socket. But the best ones is 2 socket cloaks. They come from Uladar off of the second to last boss, the General, or Lord Rylith from Firelands. And then what you also want to do is there is a new enchant coming in Shadowlands. It is called Fortified Speed. It gives you 30 speed. Then what we want to do is you can get a chest from this vendor as well. And the chest is going to be called Blessing Lunite Covering. So this chest, I myself, what I did was I crafted there is a crafting pattern that you can get it, but your cheapest offering to get a 3 socket chest is going to be right here at this vendor as well. So just go for the cheapest one, which is going to be this 3 socket. We don't care about the level of our gear really, because we are able to one-shot any content at our current level of level 51 with the gear that we have. The next piece of gear is actually going to be a crafted piece of gear. There is 2 leather wrists, and there's also 2 cloth wrists, which you could have. I went towards the leather piece just so that I could keep the 5% bonus stats. It is going to be a 2 socket wrists. For our weapons, I don't actually have the weapons yet, but from Underbog, if you are just going for a cheap alternative or an easy, fast way to get the weapon, there is a boss in Underbog, and it drops the Hatebringer. And the boss's name is Gazaran, and it has about a 13.31% drop rate, but it also drops on normal, so you can keep speed running it until you get it. But the best option for your weapon slots is there is a dagger that drops out of Karazhan. The dagger drops off of the Romeo and Juliet event, and it drops only from it's the opera event, but only drops from that set of bosses, and it has 3 sockets. For your offhand, what you are going to want to get is a Legion item or a BFA item that has bonus rolled a extra socket on the offhand. They're pretty common right now since a lot of people do freehold and things like that. So it's pretty easy to find a offhand on the auction house as of this moment that has a socket. Moving on to the trinkets, there are 5 options for the trinkets. They are all jewel crafting trinkets. You do have to have jewel crafting to get and use these sockets. If you get them crafted, and if you were to drop jewel crafting and still have these equipped, you lose the socket and you lose the speed that you would get from those sockets. So you actually have to have Northrend jewel crafting at level 25 to have these trinkets. There are 5 different ones. All you need is to choose 2 of the 5. It doesn't matter which, whatever ones are the cheapest on your auction house. For our rings, there is a craft called the Shadow Might's Ring. It's a jewel crafting pattern. It is a ring that gives you 2 sockets. There is also another ring that drops from Trial of the Crusader, Heroic 10-man. It only drops on heroic 10-man. It is either called Gromok's Band if you are Horde, or the Carnivorous Band if it is Alliance. It is the first boss in heroic, a 10-man Trial of the Crusader. Then for our boots, most people are going to recognize these boots from Legion and Speed Druids, 110 Speed Druids. We are still using these boots because these boots have the most sockets that you can equip. We get 3 sockets from these boots, but the other alternative is if you don't have these boots, there is a 2-socket craft, the Clefhoof boots or the Fell Leather boots, which give you 2 sockets each. For our pants, another vendor one that we can buy. It is going to be, where is it? It is going to be the Pants of Splendid Recovery. These pants right here. Again, 3 sockets, pretty easy to get. For our belt, we are going to want to craft the Belt of Arctic Life. So the reason we want to craft the Belt of Arctic Life, and we do not want to use the new relics to upgrade it, we want it at the item level that it has, is because then we can equip a living steel belt buckle to it, which allows us to put an extra socket on the belt. You can also buy, as an alternative from this vendor, a belt that has 2 sockets, the waist guard of the Great Beast, but you're also losing 1 socket there. Then for our last item is going to be our gloves. There's a couple different crafts as well that you can do for this. The Fell Leather gloves at this moment in time on my server is the cheapest to craft, and it has 2 sockets. Unlike the jewel crafting trinkets, you do not need leatherworking to be bonused by these gems. So as of right now, I have 31 gems equipped. I could get 1 more in my cloak. I could get 4 more for my weapons. I can get 1 more for my ring. I can get 1 more in my neck, and which means I can get an extra 7 gems. Currently, my speed is 49% speed bonus. With those about 7 extra gems, we are probably going to hit about a 55 to 60% speed bonus. Currently, I run faster than I did when I was a 110 speed druid. My average time of an Alderman run was about 5 minutes with Bear Tartar. Currently, with Bear Tartar and running the same route that I did with my 110 druid, I am running about a minute faster than I was. So I am running a lot faster than I was when I was a 110 speed druid. Also, there is going to be an enchant that we want to get on either the dagger or dagger and offhand combo, or the dagger or the Hatebringer combo. It is called Windwalk. It has a proc chance to give a 10% movement speed. Hit something. It doesn't happen all the time, but it does trigger. Still in Shadowlands. There's a couple things I still didn't go over. There is the legendary chest that comes from crafting. When you hit level 60, you can craft them in Shadowlands. Also, there is the Covenant abilities that I did not go over as well. To my knowledge, those items are not worth leveling because you lose the speed effectiveness of your gems when you go up in levels and you don't get to be as fast. Alrighty, here is an overall list. There's also some extra alternatives for some of the items that we didn't go fully in depth on. Like there's the BFA ring if you just wanted one extra socket, the alchemist stones if you just wanted one socket, but you have to have alchemy for those ones as well. And then you could also get the BFA greens for the trinket slots that have a bonus of a socket. You could also use those as well. Down in the weapon section there is the Fireland Staff. That's another 3-socket 2-handed weapon that you could use. Alrighty, I thank everybody for watching this video on how I have done a level 51 speed druid for the Shadowlands to replace our 110 speed druids that we had before. Thanks everybody for watching and have a great rest of your day.